Nashua, New Hampshire. Open line Friday. Steve, I'm glad you called. Welcome to the program.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Russ. I happened to be listening to NPR last night. I don't make a regular habit of doing it, but I just had it on the car radio. And they had the author.
Wait. Why couldn't you change the channel in the car?
I could, but the reason I left it on is because they were talking about the Obama administration being tough on national security, and I was curious to what their position was on it.
See, that's okay. Well, what'd you hear?
All right, so they had the author on, and he wrote this new book about how tough the Obama administration is surprisingly on national security, including discussion or a chapter on the cyber attacks like in Iran. And the program host precisely was concerned about leaking national security secrets, and the host asked the author, "Aren't you concerned about that?" And the author said, "Oh, well, that was okay. They specifically went to the Obama administration officials, and they gave it the okay for the information that that he put in the book that he released. So therefore, regardless, even if the information didn't come from the Obama administration and they somehow got it on their own, they went to the Obama administration, and the Obama administration okayed, according to this author, the specific release of that information, or else he would never have released it."
What did the NPR host have to say to this?
Didn't go into that, but somehow that kind of absolved the author. In other words, that was like okay because the author didn't release anything that the Obama administration knew about it, and that they didn't say who in the Obama administration, but that, of course, he would go to the Obama administration, made the request, and they said, "Oh, that information was okay. That's already out there."
Not surprised.
So I thought it was interesting. The reason I raised the point is because you don't even have to get to the question of did the information come from the Obama administration initially. Let's say that the author got it on their own through mistakes or whatever. Then, and of course, they say, well, they're concerned about releasing national security issues. Then they go to the Obama administration, and according to this author, the Obama administration said, okay, you can release that information. So it doesn't even matter where it came from. Obama administration went along with releasing the information.
Was the guy's name Klaidman, Daniel Klaidman?
I may have been. It's a new book, and apparently there's only one chapter on cybersecurity, and the other chapters are on drones and that kind of stuff. Basically, the premise being that, surprisingly, the Obama administration is pretty tough on national security. Yeah,
exactly. Very interesting coincidental timing, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Steve, I appreciate it. I just got an email from my good friend, Professor Hazlett. Good friend of mine that I met back in Sacramento when I was there in 1985, I think. No, I might have met Professor Hazlett later in the year 1984, but certainly 1985. He said, Rush, I'm just listening to the Obama clip that you played where he said that it's offensive to suggest that his administration's leaking. Now, how can he know that the suggestion is offensive unless he knows who's leaking? I mean, if you were president and you didn't know where the leaks were coming from, wouldn't you want to ferret out the leaker right now? But how do you know to be offended? Unless you know who's leaking. You can't possibly be offended by this unless you know who the leaker is. And then it makes these points. Here's what the public knows. 1, there are abundant national security leaks. 2, the regime has the ability to create such leaks. Number 3, the regime has motive to create such leaks, make Obama look macho and all that. And number 4, the regime is not doing anything to stop these leaks, like appoint a special prosecutor. Instead, they're trashing people who are making a reasonable inference after reviewing the evidence. Now, the New York Times, how can they know that the original source for their secret classified documents is not Obama? How can they know that? In fact, the source for the leak has to be either the Obama administration or the Pentagon. Has to be one of the two. If it's the Pentagon, somebody over there needs to be fired. If it's the regime, if it's the Obama regime, then Obama has to come clean with the American people And somebody, or maybe a lot of people, deserve to be fired. How can this not be an issue? How can they not appoint a special prosecutor? That's the question Professor Hazlett asks. Now, he's asking it rhetorically, but I have an answer to that. This is all 100% political. In Obama's mind, this is nothing more than a political tactic. It is the playing of a political card. It just happens to be stuff that people think is classified. But Obama doesn't care. Obviously, he doesn't care. They're not trying to find out who leaked it. He doesn't want a special prosecutor. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm looking at the kill list. Big whoop. Okay, so I'm telling everybody that we're the ones that did the Stuxnet virus to undermine the arena. No big deal. It's not a big deal to them. It's a political opportunity. And I don't think there will be a special prosecutor. This issue has achieved its purpose.